Hey guys, this is April with the Call to Be Free Academy podcast. Thanks for joining me today. Today's episode, we're going to be addressing the question, have you ever wanted to be invisible? You know those times when you're walking down the street and you trip over absolutely nothing on the sidewalk? And you glance around just to make sure that no one else saw you. And sadly, more often than not, there's somebody staring right at you. At that moment, you want to be completely invisible. Or what about the time when you got out of your car in the driveway and you started sliding on the ice, you flailed around like a crazy kid at a 6th grade roller skate birthday party? You know that time. You're flailing around, you're falling down, and you can't quite fall, and it's like the longest episode ever of humiliation. And when you finally gain your composure, you look up and you see your neighbor has been staring at you the whole time, trying so hard not to laugh, but still looking concerned at the same time. Yeah, you want to be invisible. What about that time that for about 2 years straight you colored in your eyebrows because your grandma told you that you look like Brooke Shields? And nobody said anything different? Your mom let you leave the house like that and did not bother to tell you, something's not right, kid. Oh, so that was just me? What about that time where you decided that it would be a good idea to volunteer to be the head of the children's ministry at a church where they only spoke a language that you could barely even get groceries in? Or what about that time that you said that you would officiate a friend's mother's funeral, and when you got up to speak, you completely forgot the husband's name of the departed? You found yourself so flustered that you skipped half of your notes and had to start all over? Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. Being invisible at that point would have been really nice. No matter what your story is, I bet that some point in your life, maybe even recently, you would have liked to be invisible. It's important to note here that we're all human, and we all make mistakes, and we all look stupid sometimes. But that doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't make you any less than anybody else. It just means that you're human. We need to give ourselves a break sometimes. So while I've already shared a little bit of my embarrassing stories, I have thousands more. So you know that kid, that really kind of awkward kid in elementary school that had to leave the room anytime there was a holiday or a birthday celebrated, that they couldn't be a part of it? And that whenever they stood up for the Pledge of Allegiance, they were actually not even supposed to stand, and they'd always have their hands down because they didn't know what else to do? So they kind of hid in the back of the classroom and tried to be invisible because what else was there? That was me. See, we were raised Jehovah's Witness when I was young. And we didn't celebrate birthdays. We didn't celebrate holidays. We weren't allowed to say the Pledge of Allegiance. And a lot of kids in my class, they didn't get it. Yeah, I was that kid. I was also the kid that got taken out in the middle of class to go to a different class because I wasn't smart enough to learn what everybody else was learning. I was also that kid. So in my elementary school years, being invisible was an art I perfected, and I would get better and better and better at it the older I got. You see, I was saved in the 6th grade, but in the 7th grade, I was sexually molested at a church lock-in. And I was so humiliated and so scared that other people would judge me or see me that I tried to be as quiet and non-obvious as possible and get away from the person. And when I told my youth pastor, they called the guy, and he said, I thought she wanted it, even though I whispered no, no, and tried to push him away. So I wanted to be invisible then too. And then again, when I was 16, I got pregnant. Yeah, I was pregnant at 16 with twins. At 5.5 months, I ended up going into preterm labor, got airlifted to a major hospital in Denver, only to lose them. So yeah, I wanted to be invisible. And I got really good at being invisible. So good, in fact, that people that I went to school with from childhood don't even know who I am. The teachers that I, in my opinion, think made a huge impact on my life don't remember me. Even at jobs, people don't remember that I worked there. I was really, really, really good at being invisible. To the point that I even forgot how to be seen and heard. That's how invisible I was. When you've been invisible for so long, you learn how to read other people very well. You become an observer and a listener, and you see everything. People don't even know that you're there, so you see absolutely everything. You see all of the things that nobody wants to be seen. All the things that everybody wants to cover up and pretend like never existed. And the thing about it is that that's what makes us human, and that's what makes us individual and unique. And so it's a powerful thing to share, because your testimony and your story and all those embarrassing times or all those painful times made you someone. It made you who you are. And while we don't have to live in our past because we are free from it, we have learned from it. And it's given us a compassion for people and a mercy for people that's unparalleled. Sometimes I think God feels invisible in some ways. He feels like his people don't turn to him. His people don't see him. They look for every possible solution only to think, oh, prayer is my last option. You know, there's a story, actually a lot of stories in the Bible, about people feeling invisible. Did you know the woman with the issue of blood in Luke 8:43? She was invisible. She was invisible for 12 years. To have to hide out, to have to live in the shadow. Are you living in a shadow? Are you hiding out from something? Did something bad happen in your life? Did something humiliating happen in your life? And all you want to do is forget that it ever happened, but it keeps coming to the forefront? And everything inside of you fights against it. But it just might be that one story that would set you free. It just might be that one thing that God needs to reach an entire nation of people. That one story that you're hiding from, the one that you want to pretend never happened. God wants to use it for his glory and for yours. Who knows? What happened to you might save a nation. Or it might just save your neighbor, which is enough for God and should be enough for you. So share your story. Share your testimony. It's powerful. It just might be that one thing that's been holding you back, and that one thing that God is going to use to open doors and set you free. See, I had to overcome a lot in my life. Depression, trauma, guilt, even PTSD. Yeah, I was labeled with a lot of stuff. And you may have been too. You may have been through something that you feel like you can't get past, but I'm going to tell you that you can. Because all things are possible to him that believe. And if you are a child of God, that freedom is right in front of you. It is always such a blessing to hear your stories and testimonies and to receive your prayer requests. If you have any more, send them to support@calledtobefreeacademy.com. Can't wait to hear from you. Many blessings, and as always, I'm praying for you.